Hello everybody, and I hope you're having a fantastic day, and in this video I'm going to be talking about the new treasure spawn that just came out with Shadow Dancer Garo. Okay, so let's get to the monster, then we can actually talk about the spawn. Okay, so this monster is going to hit all enemies. It's not going to be a single hitting monster. With a success value of 100, it's going to hit 3 times for physical damage. Dark, not bad damage, decent damage. We'll do a few scratches, nothing supreme or OP about the damage at all. It does do some damage though, you'll notice. And the ability power gets boosted by 10 for each increase in skill level. Okay, so from here, we got targets all allies. It's going to apply life drain for 60 seconds, 10%. It's going to cast Piercer. This is what Piercer does, pretty much, is what it's telling you. It's going to increase the usage gauge gains by 2 for 60 seconds for all allies. It's going to apply Resurrection, and then it's going to apply Blessing to yourself. It's going to apply Resurrection for all allies. I kind of skipped that part right there. So that's pretty much the monster. It's pretty straightforward, simple, and to the point, and I love its attack animation, I'm not going to lie. Monster looks pretty cool, but the attack animation just, whoa. I freaking love it. I am not going to lie. I freaking love it. Anyways, moving on from there. So that's it for this monster and everything surrounding it. It is legitimately a player versus enemy monster. You can use it for other stuff, but it's best and it shines the most, absolutely. I can't really say too much for other things about it, like Dorms, Coliseum, and guild battles, except it's 37 cost, and for like Coliseum, so 37 cost being, it's gonna give good battle score, and then like it does damage for Coliseum and Duel Rooms. It applies Resurrection for Clutch, I guess you could say. Some of the stuff's like semi-helpful. It's not like the main things that are generally going to be helpful. Unless you're like a treasure hunter or you're a soldier and you're having like a Unison build. This type of monster could be helpful for that and could be clutch for that. But for the most part, not really all too useful in general that is, for Duel Rooms and Coliseums and stuff like this. This shines the most in player versus enemy. Everything it has is mainly orientated around player versus enemy, so it's literally it for the monster. So let's actually get to the gear, and then I'll talk about whether I recommend this or not and stuff like that. Okay, I mean not gear, but the spawn itself. Okay, so we got spawn 10, first time half off for 15 gems, new monster but no rates like usual in the gear spawn whatsoever. So it's going to be near dang impossible, if not impossible, to obtain it through the spawn 10. But you will have a chest. You will be getting a chest. You will be getting double chance each time after your jackpot or after your first time half off. And you will be getting 50 to 200 medals each time you spawn. So we got 6 chests right here. We got Garo, Summoning Scroll, or Treasure Medal. Summoning Scrolls will usually almost always have the lower rates and usually be incredibly hard to obtain rather than treasure medals themselves. Treasure medals will have the highest rates usually, so keep that in mind when you're doing this. Droplets of Ether Awakening Orb. They got Proficiency Quest Keys or Super Augment Quest Keys. They're going back to the Quest Keys. 2 chests have types of keys, and then one of the chests has Treasure Medal 600, Treasure Medal 700, or Treasure Medal 800. It's nice that they added at least one side chest with Treasure Medal, so that way it's kind of obtainable, to be fairly honest, because that's really cool. And then the third chest, the one I skipped over for a reason, Select Monster. And when I first saw Select Monster, I was like, whoa, okay, that is really awesome. So you're getting this monster at random stats over and over. You know what, I actually might do this. And then I look down and they're like, oh, this is the list that they're talking about. So this, when they say Select Monsters, this is actually the list they're talking about right here. It's this one right here. Thankfully it's not too large. We got 132, we got a couple 33s, we got 2 34s, we got a couple 35s, well, mainly 35s. Most of these are actually 35s, so this is actually the select list they're actually talking about. So that's pretty much that and everything surrounding that. Not bad, to be fairly honest, for a treasure spawn. Could be a little better on the medals, but they do offer a select monster list. So if you ever need, like, if you needed pots for like 34s or 35s, hopefully you won't get a 33, that is, considering there's only like 2 33s and 1 32s. You could definitely grab them. They're in here and everything surrounding it, so that's really, really cool. So let's look at the medal exchange and see what they have to offer. They have a 36 cost set right here. The Divine Testaments are great for if you're doing a critical chance build, a critical chance build, not a like Fatal Testament don't count as critical chance because Fatal Testaments are guaranteed critical, but they have to the proc has to activate for it to actually pop off. I'm talking like stuff that helps with like the Noah gear. If I could show you right here, stuff like this, the critical chance build. And if you're a Lancer, you have like the ability called Stake All. You got like Dragon Tail to support that and stuff like that. If you're also a mage, you got Fanatic Soul to help with that as well. But that's what I mean by a full-blown like cleric build, because not cleric build, but critical up build or critical chance build, because I don't want to get it confused with the critical build, because there's two types of critical builds you could work towards. You could work towards an easy to the point Fatal Testament, or you could work towards something that's nearly going to guarantee you every critical hit that you could possibly get, but of course you got to work towards it. And the class has to have some passive critical as well and some moves that help with it. But anyways, moving on from there, and they got the gear right here, so if you need extra damage down double XLs, you can still obtain them through here, and they're only 1,900, so you actually probably may only have to get one jackpot, the side chest, and do a couple spawns to even actually obtain these. So right there, that is very, very nice. And then from there, they lower it all the way down to, it looks like 33 cost. Yeah, this is 33 cost weapons and 34 cost armor. So those are in here as well. They offer the summoning scroll for 10k, so that's not bad. They offer some stuff in the metal exchange you could absolutely get, and yes, some of the stuff actually does have good attack. I kind of skipped over it. This one has a good attack, helps boost characters' attack defense by 30% for 20 seconds, what soldiers use for DPS, so that's not bad whatsoever. And then you got this right here. Increases attack to adjacent allies to yourself by 30% for 20 seconds and boost their critical hit chance. This is great. Divine Testament and the ability is going to be orientated for Lancers around the critical chance up. You don't even have to use Stake All. If you use this Tiger's Roar instead, you could just replace Stake All with Dragon's Ripper, have Tiger's Roar, Dragon's Ripper, and Dragon's Tail, and that could be a lot. And when I say a lot, I literally mean a lot of damage if you have the Noah gear and everything surrounding it. You're literally having a good critical chance up build instead of doing that and everything surrounding that. And then we got Clairvoyance right here, not too good. Archers sometimes, when like for the earlier abilities for 36 cost weapons and stuff like that, they don't really have all too good of abilities. And of course, even with like Flash, increases cost recovery speed by 5 for 20 seconds and reduce ability cooldown times. Anything for the mage is good, considered good, that replaces the regular attack, because mages don't use physical attack and the regular attack is physical attack. And then we got the Dark Ritual right here, recovers state cost for your character. And then it reduces your character's recovery effects received by 30% for 10 seconds. This is kind of like a mini ether exchange, so if you don't want to use ether exchange, you don't want to use silver guidance or anything like that, you could kind of replace this. It may not be as good as silver guidance, considering that silver guidance also attacks, but at least with this, you're not going to be losing, I think it's 10 Unison? Or is that sacrificial healing? But anyways, so yeah, that's pretty much that and everything surrounding the gear and the treasure spawn and stuff like that. So that's that and everything surrounding that. What I will for the monster, what I do on the treasure spawn for anything that it has to offer. For the monster, absolutely not. It is a good player versus enemy monster, but the issue with it is there's multiple player versus enemy monsters. Well, not multiple, there are a few. Easier to obtain than this one for sure, and probably have been obtained by a handful of you that already give resurrection and they don't have bad abilities surrounding it. Like I got Cecil right here, and the issue with the Cecil versus this monster is this monster's brand spanking new. The only reason I would grab a 37 cost compared to the Cecil already that has archer stats is for the cost for Unison battles, but it's not a player versus player monster whatsoever. It's completely player versus enemy. And with Cecil increases the usage gauge, cast resurrection, and cast blessing. That's already half of what the new 37 cost monster does, and a 36 cost monster that is already out and I already have. Of course, there are some different abilities that may be useful for other things in other situations that Cecil has, like the healing, removes buffs, removes damage reflection, continuous healing, and then the other one's got like life drain, I think it is, and piercer instead and stuff like that. But anyways, so it's more consistent. It's pretty much like ceaseless remove, except you actually go through it guaranteed. But with ceaseless, right, this remove can be used against like Madia and Redivere and guild battles and like Coliseum and stuff like that. So that's very, very good. Anyways, but yeah, I already got Ceasla. If you got Aquarius as well, Aquarius is also still going to get more gear score because it's 37 cost. 37 cost won't have pots for a quick second or two. These still do. So these are actually going to give off more gear score. Considering it's player versus enemy, you don't have to worry about battle score. Monsters, when you're using monsters for player versus enemy, they either give off good gear score, good elemental, or good abilities. Considering that like previous monsters like Aquarius and Ceasla give off good abilities, nearly as good as the monster that just came out, and they give off actually more gear score for right now than the 37 cost monster, you can use those instead. Continuous healing, cast resurrection on all allies, and cast awakening. Awakening increased all stats by 50%, gives 50% damage reflection, damage reduction, and gives an ability power buff as well. So like, if you got these types of monsters, if you're going for these types of monsters, honestly, they're a lot more easier to obtain than this monster, and they will absolutely do versus this monster. There's a lot of resurrections out there, like I just explained right now, that can suffice, absolutely suffice, maybe even better in some circumstances than this monster out here. So not needed whatsoever. There's no reason for me to go for anything surrounding that scenario and situation. And as for the gear, I might consider, if I was a Lancer, if I still was a Lancer, going for Tiger's Roar for the critical chance up build, because that right there is extremely OP. That really is OP right there. I can work on like Dragon Tail, Dragon's Ripper. I have a critical chance up build. All I would need is one last Noah piece for like the Noah gear. I'm literally set under that circumstance, situation, and scenario, and I'm doing all types of damage for no types of reasons. And the damage down double XL geared here also would be very, very nice to have, but I'm actually probably not even going to spend a dime on the spawn, to be fairly honest. So that's pretty much it for the spawn. Thank you for tuning in. Thank you for watching, and I hope this helped out. This is the AzureWrath, and I'll catch you in the next video. I'm out. Peace.